Good morning, it's Vaughan at westcoatbellpottery.ca. It's actually early because this is actually still 2024, but the video won't get posted till 2025 and it'll be the first one at that point. So it's a clear glaze, cone 01 bisque, and then a cone 04 glaze. And I'll give the recipe out for the clear glaze because it took me many years to get this glaze to work properly, so I can save you a decade. At least in experimenting. But that's red clay, red moist number 20 from Laguna, with coloured slips applied with stencils, and you just saw the video about a few weeks back on how to do this. So that's the platter that finally came out of the kiln, and these are lids which will be sitting on jars in a very little time, just a few minutes. So we'll get these out of here. Oops. Okay, the next layer down, I have a bunch of bowls which I made to kind of go with the platters as like a chip and dip type combination, and these are the same technique. You know, coloured slip, paper stencil resist, and hand painting a little bit in there too. Same again. This is a technique that I developed for when I lived in New York, actually in Ohio, farmland kind of scenes. We lived in Mansfield and then Columbus, Ohio, and I sold it through the Museum of American Folk Art in Manhattan for a long time. And there's another bowl here. This one was meant to have a lid, but the rim actually collapsed on the inside, so I turned it into just a bowl, like a dip bowl. Some more lids here. See if we can find the one that it fits. That one. So these are the same technique, paper stencil resist. And a lot more hand painting in these, just using brushes to create brush strokes, which I'll give you a close-up there. You get a feeling of the brush in the sky and the actual ocean. I make the lids so they fit each one precisely. That one works again as well. So it's another little jar. I'm not sure what people, tea bags, sugar, whatever anybody wants to do with them. I may have to play with the lids later to make sure they all fit. Same again. The orange of the clay was what my wife still loves, this red clay for her painted pieces, and I think there's some of those in here too. But she's out for a birthday dinner this lunch. And they all seem to be getting lids that fit. Let's hope that continues. Belted Galloways too. We used to live near a farm that had those. And little vases. I got quite a few little vases here with a lot of sheep. I grew up in Yorkshire, born in Scotland, and then lived in Ohio where there was a lot of sheep too. So I've always had those around. And they're like, somebody described them to me once at a craft fair. They're clouds sitting in the grass. So that's very romantic. We need some romance, don't we? See if we have one of these that fit. That's too big. That one's too big, so I'll probably have a lid on this one. Maybe, yeah, that goes in there, so this one goes in here. So musical lids at this point. The next layer down is very similar. I've got to make sure the lids are fitting right in these ones. I think that's that one there. So we got a bunch more of these. when I paint these and do this work, I always make a set because I don't make it very often. So I like to make a whole grouping. So I've got lots more vases, all different shapes. Bottle shapes. And still more. And then we've got a bunch of Jackie's pieces too. So I better get those. She's not here. Okay, the very bottom layer is one more of these platters. So that's actually 3 platters in this firing, and the rest of it is all Jackie's mugs, hand painted mugs.
Okay, and I'll just hold them close and turn them around. I did a variety of motifs here. This is the cats playing in the garden. And all of these are painted on red clay with a layer of white slip over top, and then I'm painting with underglazes and stencils. We have an audience here. A new member. This is based on the sheep that graze on West Ironbound Mountain, or West Ironbound Island in Nova Scotia. And this is the cats running, being chased by birds. And this is the crow and the bird in the garden. And the whales and the island and boat. Whenever I do a batch of mugs, I usually work in pairs or threes and do, you know, a few cat motifs, a few island motifs, and group them that way so that I can cut stencils out in, so that I can cut like 3 or 4 stencil groupings at a time. This one has the nests in the trees with the birds and the cats. And here's the other island and whale one with the boat again. So they're all a little different, but they have similar themes, using the same stencils but in different ways. And this is the other version of the West Ironbound Island with the sheep grazing. This is another one with the cats running through the garden. And last but not least, this is a black cat and the white cat. And that's it for this firing.
Hey. Hi, Hamish. Okay, this is another firing in 2024. I thought I was over and done, but somebody ordered one of these and I couldn't get it in the other firings, so I've just placed it in here. This is a compost pot lid. In Nova Scotia we have green bins where we're supposed to put all our compost. I actually do it myself in the garden. I've got a compost sort of large wooden container that I compost all my own kitchen scraps. And then so basically I don't use my green bin, but I do put everything in one of these in the kitchen and then put it outside. I just got visited by this guy who doesn't leave me alone. I've got posters everywhere for this guy. He's on a website for the local cat shelter, animal shelter. He's posted in the post office, the bakery, the bookstore, on Facebook, and it's now 6 days and nobody has called me. So the vet, I took him in, said it's probably unlikely that anybody will, but I have not booked him in to the vet for, because he hasn't been neutered. He's still young, he's less than a year old. So we're hoping nobody's missing him, you know, because he's totally safe in here. But he really likes to be. He's trying to lay down a bit better, but he wants, you know, to go home, or he wants a home, and I'm going to give him a home. Or I've actually got a lady in a local town who says she will take him because he's adorable, but he bites. When you pet him and play with him, he plays a little rough and nibbles and bites, so I'm wondering if that's why he was possibly dumped. Because he drew blood on me and my wife, and we like cats, so we're willing to put up with it. But as you can see, he's very nice. He wants to be held all the time. Out now, he's grabbing me. And then I have an order for these. A dinner set, and this is the folk art white with the actual oatmeal over the top, and these are really luscious. They're creamy looking. Very nice. Next one down is a very nice chip and dip platter in Tenmuku gold, variegated blue, and oatmeal, and that is exactly how they turn out when it's perfect. Lots of gold. The blue is showing up here and here. Maybe I would have liked that a little bit bluer, but sometimes it goes very blue and other times it doesn't. But if you add the variegated blue too much, it goes gray. And so it's nice, but it's hard to predict exactly what. And there's a little slip trailing with some squiggles over it as well. Let's see whether we get the lids right. So these are large compost jars for the kitchen. And she wanted one, where I've made 3. When somebody orders something, I always make extras. That's not the lid for that one. Oh, it fits, well, it fits, but I think it's probably not the lid for that one. That one fits better. But the variegated blue looks really good. They wanted oatmeal, but they literally just wanted an inch on the top, and it melts in anyway. And there's another one. Ah, that's it. So that lid fit that one. See, I stilt my lid so I can glaze everywhere. And then I did wipe it off the bottom on these ones because they're kind of big. For a stilt, they would just crush the stilt. Very nice jaws. Yeah, we have to watch out for bears because we have compost bin outside. Oh, this lid must fit the other one too, so I got the wrong lid. So this is the 22nd of December, and we had our first snowstorm on the 21st, first day of winter, and it was a big one. So basically we got about 7-8 inches of snow, and everything looks really pretty. Okay, it's 23rd of December. I have another kiln. I keep firing these kilns. I thought I'd be done, but I've got work and I'm just hanging out at the gallery because we got customers still. I just had 3 sales this morning, so life is good. But anyway, I have a little kiln here. We'll see what's in it. Okay, 8 of them are for a customer, and this is from the video I just did on making pieces the same size. So let's see how many of these are around 300 and 315 mil. That's our hope anyway. And no higher. I think it was 3 7/8 inch, and I think that'd be definitely shorter than that. So let's choose one. 3 9/16, so that's perfect. So it's less than 3 5/8. Size wise, they're all going to be very similar, but I made 24. Ooh, this one doesn't want to come off. Usually the stilts just bang right off. 3 1/2 exactly, so that's a 1/16 of an inch, the same. 3 1/2 exactly. The next level down is another order from somebody. They wanted the folk art white as a dinner set, 8 plates of each. So I did one with the oatmeal over the rim for them to see, and I matched this one up obviously with another chicken roaster. And that was a spare dish that I didn't know what to do with. Under there we have some noodle bowls. Bright blue, variegated blue and oatmeal. We've seen those in the past. Another one here. This is one of my best selling items that I make, just with a couple of notch for the chopsticks. We have a sushi restaurant in town now, and so sushi seems to be very popular. And these are the same folk art white as the dinner set with the oatmeal on the rim. It has a very creamy look. It's almost like, whipped cream or something on the surface. And then 2 more of the mugs for the order. Now it's the 26th of December, Boxing Day. Anyway, we have a little stoneware cone 6, another one to unload here with some very interesting planters in it. Okay, so I think the planters are in here anyway. I've got some noodle bowls, dark blue, variegated blue and oatmeal. We've probably seen those before. So I usually do sets of 4 whenever I do things like this. And these are with lots of chattering on the outside. And there's 4 of those. And I've got some sugar jars here in my bright yellow glaze, which is really a nice yellow. My wife doesn't like this color actually. And the lid fits on that. So that's a nice little sugar jar. Another one here. This is an order. Somebody wants a sugar and a milk jug and a tall drinking glass as well. So I've got a few of these to come out to be in a set. A bit of backwash stuff, I'll have to sand that off. Yeah, I backwash these advancer shelves, but the backwash comes off if you get any kind of fluxing of your clay or the glaze on the bottom, and then you sand it down. But that's matte turquoise, variegated blue and oatmeal as well. Level down we have planters and some more yellow pieces for that order. So this is basically the apple green on the bottom over the top of my yellow, which is firing really good. I've actually got a new batch of that to mix up, so I hope it's doing the same. Glaze is supposed to be consistent, but it seems like each time you mix a batch, it takes a while before it seems to work really well. It's like maturing in the bucket. That's a hard one to get off. The apple green is always a hard glaze to get the stilt marks off, so yeah, I always end up grinding a little bit on the bottoms of each one. It just takes 5 seconds for each mark, but the apple green, when it's thicker, it looks nicer. So that's why it's harder to get the stilt off, because it's thicker. And here's the drinking glass she wanted. So we've got a set, she wants 3 pieces basically. That's nice. Nice little drinking glass. Oh look, you got my finger edges. I held it like that. But it's glazed over because I dipped the bottom after I glazed the top. I dipped the bottom, but you still have those little finger marks, which is kind of unique, I guess. Posterity. More of those. My wife really doesn't like this yellow, but I really do like it. I don't find it too lemony, if somebody might tell me that, but she wanted me to add a little bit of maybe an orange stain in here to make it turn a little bit more golden. But I kind of like it, and it sells very well. Very bright yellow. Let's see, mugs to go with this now, and blue on the inside and yellow with green. That's very happy. And there's another one there. And then we've got some of the normal bright blues. I did a lot of these because I've got mostly brown colors left in the gallery for mugs. Brown did not sell well this year. And there's more fingerprints, which I think is, when I describe to the customer, that's how I hold it. Maybe they'll appreciate that. There's always the person that wants everything to look like a machine made it, but when you have something that's really shows a human hand on it, I think that's kind of nice. The bright blue worked really good on these, variegated blue and oatmeal over it, because there's a lot of work in these. The bright blue is absolutely spectacular. Let's hope the bottom is good with no chips. Where the feet are, nope, there's no chips on the foot. And there's the bright blue on the outside, so you can see all that carving. And that was a lot of work, a lot of careful straight line carving. And then the foot, it shows up really well too. So I think I've got 6 of these. 2 of them are going to go out straight away, and I'll end up with 4 for the showroom. And you just put a plastic pot inside, there's no hole in these. The blue one is going to stay in the showroom. And this one's heavy. They're heavy. And just a bit of backwash to sand off, but no chips, which is really nice since it's so heavy. And this is the chun green, which really shows up carving well. But these are very time-consuming planters to make, but they certainly look really good. The chun green, I think, could have been made a little heavier. Maybe I should have dipped it upside down as I pulled it out, just did it really slowly so it's light at the bottom and darker at the top. Next time. Okay, some more planters on the bottom. Oh, these are heavy to lift up. Remember, I didn't trim these because I put the feet on them. And there's the yellow. This is the order. This is for a lady who broke her planter and wanted me to make another one. Hamish just shot with his claws on my leg. Every time I lean into the kiln, this new cat here in the studio likes to shot his claws on the back of my leg. There he is, right there, waiting for me to bend over into the kiln again. And there he goes again. Ooh. He's a super friendly cat. He's less than a year old. And we have a home for him in a friend of ours who's a photographer in Truro. But I'm going to try and get him neutered first, because he has not been neutered and he has that musty smell that a male cat can get. So only for the acquired taste, I guess, right? But that won't last very long for him. Let's see how long it takes him to get back here. So he's doing it again. What did that take, 30 seconds? He really wants attention, but that yellow is really nice. Can you imagine a bright green plant inside here? This will look gorgeous. See, he's just waiting. He comes right back and he's waiting for me to bend into the kiln. And then when my leg is nice and vulnerable, he sharpens his claws on me. Oh, yes he is. And he climbs up my back too. Can you hear? That's him sharpening his claws on my jeans. Look at that nice blue planter. This is the biggest one of the bunch. And all that. And I did a slightly more elaborate carving on the rim on these, as you can see. And there's the little foot too. These were successful. We'll see whether people go for it, because this will be an expensive platter. They're going to be between like $175 and $200 each, I think. A couple of chicken roaster bottles. They go with a chicken roasting pan. And 3 mugs. That's folk art white with oatmeal over it, dark blue, variegated blue and oatmeal, ouch, and bright blue, variegated blue and oatmeal. So 3 mugs. Yeah, it's time to start trimming this cat's claws, because he's got very sharp claws. Okay, this will be the last firing to unload in this video. I usually do like 3-4 kiln unloadings in one video now, and try and do that more like highlights rather than showing you every piece. Is Tenmoku gold and variegated blue on the inside. So it's a different variation I haven't done before, which is fairly nice. A little bit of oatmeal on the rim, because that always gives you that creamy look on the edge, which I always feel like would be very appealing for food. But and then all of these are like that. Oh, that one's got a little backwash on. I'm gonna have to grind off, sand off. But these are all the same glaze. combinations. Actually, variegated blue more than Tenmoku Gold on that one, so they do have some variations. And that's back to the Tenmoku Gold on the outside, all on Speckle 455 clay. But I like to clean up all the shells and have a new start in January. Tenmoku Gold with variegated blue over the top. No oatmeal, so that was, except the oatmeal on the bottom. So that I expected more blue there actually. Same again. I mean, they're very attractive with all the speckles. So lots of speckles even without the oatmeal. I haven't been doing much brown recently because I have lots of brown left over. I think I may have mentioned already that this was not a year for brown. The Tenmoku Gold is that kind of not quite brown kind of brown because there's so much gold in there. It really works great, and it makes me wonder about, I mean, I like it with the oatmeal over top too, but the variegated blue, where did that go? Now this was an order, somebody wanted a little dish with variegated blue and oatmeal, and some oatmeal on the edge, and look at that one, that turned out beautiful. It's a very nice piece, and it's on white clay, I think now. So that's very pretty. So quick to make that. And then this one is just a whole bunch now of blue pieces, so I can just show you a couple. Bright blue, variegated blue and oatmeal, which we have seen many, many times. We've got some bronzes here. Bright blue, variegated blue and oatmeal. And I've got a bunch of little mugs as well. So this level is all like this. So bright blue, which is turning out really good. And I added a little bit extra cobalt carbonate to this blue batch, and it has made it really blue. So I mean, such a small amount in this glaze anyway, like 1 or 2%, but it works really nice. The next layer down is all blue again. This was a firing. I actually glazed this stuff on Christmas Eve, so I wanted to get out of here, so I just thought I'm just going to glaze everything blue. But we got a lot of chattering that the blue shows up really well on these too. So it was a rush job, but they still are really nice. Choosing glazes for the pieces is very important every time. But look at that one. Really, when the customer picks it up looking at the inside and then looks at the bottom, I think you just made the sale when they see that the bottom is even better than the top. And it's a really nice blue this time. And then I got a bunch of sugar jars, the same glaze combos. Little sugar jars. Look how blue that is. That's very strong. I didn't increase it hardly anything, maybe 1/4 or 0.5%. But really came out nice. There you go. Just a little bit of variegated blue and a little bit of oatmeal makes a huge sort of impact on the piece there, even though the blue is beautiful. Oh, he's sharpening his leg. Ow. This little guy, every time I bend over into the kiln, he thinks that my legs are a sharp, what you call it, a scratching post. So I'm having a careful time, I guess you'd say. But we have a home for him because I'm right on the road. I'd love to keep him, but I'm right on the road. So unless I can't find him a home, I would keep him if I couldn't find him a home. But I would have to be very careful because in the summer there's a lot of traffic here. So this friend of mine called Kaz Stone Photography, I think she wants to take him, but she wanted a short hair cat, short fur. But anyway, this guy is quite a long hair guy, so we'll see. She's coming to see him, I think, on January 12th. But you can see he's just a lover. But he likes to sharpen his claws on the back of your leg. And the bottom of the kiln is just some random leftover pieces. Purple, variegated blue, and oatmeal. A baking dish for the little sauce bottle that came out earlier in this video. Another yellow one. Well, that's interesting. Don't know what caused that. I'll have to reglaze over the top of this piece. Oh, it like a drip. As I was shaking, it spun off sideways, I guess. Because you glaze the inside, shake it like that, and then shake to get it off, and then dip it in the yellow, and basically some spun off on going on the side of the wall. It happens all the time, I guess. And there too. So I'm going to dip green probably over the whole top of this. Two more blue. And there's the baking dish. Bright blue. This is number 80 clay from Laguna because it goes in the oven. Okay. He gets separation anxiety. He's a very young cat, but he obviously had a lot of attention at some point because now if you disappear out of his life for a second, what he's looking for. But, anyway, thanks for joining me on this video. It probably is mid-January, I think, by now when you see this. So Happy New Year. Hopefully everything goes wonderful this year.